welcome back to JK Fishing, guys. Today we're going to show you how we're going to attempt to solve a common problem that a lot of salmon fishermen have with their spoons and storage of their spoons when they're fishing. If you're a salmon fisherman and you have spoons, you might have the same problem that we have, where in your tackle box you've got all your nice salmon spoons, and when you go to take one out, you have a problem where they're all hooked together, and it's really hard to store them and find the right type of storage unit for these types of spoons. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to do this on a budget today. Normally you can buy something like what we're going to try and make today, but they're pretty expensive and they're not easy to find. They range anywhere from $50 to $100 for something similar. Maybe better quality, but this will be your own do-it-yourself project. So with two simple materials, we got a plastic bin here. You can pick one up at Walmart or your local hardware store, anywhere really that sells something like this for maybe $5 to $10. The one we've got here has two clamps on the side that lock the lid down and a handle, so it makes it really easy to carry this around, you know, with your spoons inside. And it's a real nice depth that can hold your spoon standing up. You got to make sure that you have the right depth, okay? The other key material is a polyethylene pool noodle. We've looked for blocks of polyethylene online. They tend to be rather expensive and very hard to find. We couldn't find any locally, so we're going to try and rig something up using the pool noodle that I know a lot of fishermen use for different purposes. So let's get going. I'll show you how we make this. Okay guys, so I'm going to warn you, this is the first time we're attempting to make this, so things could go wrong, and we'll probably find ways to improve what we're doing here today after we've gone through it once, but we'll take you through it. So like I explained before, we're going to use a pool noodle and this bin here that's going to be used to store our salmon spoons. We figured the pool noodle, which costs about $5 at the store, and the bin that's maybe $5 to $10, we can maybe rig something up here for about $10 to $15. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the pool noodle to the length of the bin perfectly, maybe a little bit tight so that it stays in there. We may decide to use glue later, but for now we'll just get it fitting in and show you how we're planning to do this, okay? So we've got a cutting board. We've also got some of our nice fishing knives here, the Bubba blade, we love this one, and our Dexter here, which we're going to use to cut the pool noodle and prepare it for putting inside the bin. We've also got a Sharpie, obviously for measuring and marking where we're going to put the slots to store our spoons, okay? Okay, so we measured the box. The length of the box is just short of 13 inches. So we're going to cut this maybe about a 1/16 of an inch shorter than 13 inches. Okay, simply by marking it on the noodle. I'm going to take the big heavy Bubba blade because it's my favorite knife, and I know this thing can cut through anything. Should cut through this like butter. No problem, right? Now we'll see that the noodle now fits inside the bin nice and tight, so we probably won't even need to glue this down, to be honest, if we can keep it nice and tight in there. Okay, now we've got the noodle cut to the right length. We want to make sure that it fits nice and snug inside that box. Okay, as you can see, it goes in, it's staying in there pretty solid, so I like that. I don't think we're going to glue this down, not at this point, but we may decide to do that later. So we'll cut another length. Again, we're going to do it the exact same length here. Just short of 13 inches is where we marked it. And so we're going to cut another piece using the trusty Bubba blade. Try and go as square to the noodle as possible. And again, we're going to be able to stuff that noodle right in. So now we've got our polyethylene tubes in here. Next step we got to go through is just putting slits into the polyethylene noodle almost all the way through, so that we can insert the spoons. And what you'll have is your spoons standing straight up. All right, so now we're going to make our slits into the noodle, into the polyethylene noodle, in order to be able to insert our spoons. Okay, so since this is nicely measured at 13 inches, we're gonna make a slit every single inch here. So I'm gonna mark it out with my Sharpie. Sharpie's the best. You can always see it on here. Very easy to mark. So get yourself a nice ruler. I was going to use a tape measure, but the tape measure is too flimsy to hold and keep straight on something like that. So got it marked out. I'm using a Dexter knife now. The Bubba is a bit too curved, and I wanted something a little bit more narrow. So now we're going to put our slits in. I'm just going to go straight down into the pool noodle and make my slits to put in where we're going to put our spoons. So obviously this isn't going to be perfect, but should be good enough. I'm going almost right through the noodle because the way we're doing this here with the noodle, we want the spoons to touch almost all the way down to the bottom of the bin that we're putting them in, or the box. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure you cut all the way through the noodle. And you make a nice slit in here. Also depends on the size of your spoons. Most people have about a 4-inch spoon, varying widths depending on the brand and the style. So you might want some slits a little bit thicker for those bigger spoons that you have. Okay? So once we're done, as you see, the noodle is going to go in. We can take our spoons. This is one of our bigger, wider spoons. And we're going to be able to put our spoon right into the noodle. Okay? As you can see, nice storage. We got another spoon here. We'll put it in the slot right next to it just to show you how nicely you can organize your spoons inside the bin. Okay? So I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to put the other cuts into this other noodle. We'll put it together. We'll fill it with our spoons. We'll show you the finished product. Okay guys, so there you have it. We've just finished making our nice little spoon box. As you can see, it's got room for about 20 spoons in here. They fit nicely. You know, the hooks might get tangled a little bit with the one next to it, but for the most part better than what we had before in the tackle box. One thing we thought about as we were starting to load the spoons in is it'd probably be nice to have the spoons facing out. This way you could see the colors versus having to look like this. May not fit as many that way, but if you want them facing out, or if you have 3 rows, you might want to do it a different way. So, you know, play with your own design, what you like. As you can see, you know, when it's time to pack up and go, you just clamp it on and you're gone with your spoons. So nice and handy. Saved myself 50 bucks at least on building that myself. We're going to give you another little tip here of what we saw a few other folks do. If you're using spin doctors or these type of spinners with a fly attached, it's a pain to take these apart and store them after every trip. So what we've seen some guys do, and what we're going to do ourselves, is take what's left over of this noodle here. We're going to cut it to the length of the spin doctor. Okay, real simple. We're going to cut all the way down the side here. Okay, a nice straight line. Okay, we're not going to go all the way through the noodle. We're going to go halfway to the middle portion so that it's nice and tight there. Then for storage, it's as simple as taking your spin doctor, sliding him in there, and then you can wrap your fly around and put those dangerous hooks right into the foam of the noodle. Now, this is going to be helpful when you're, you know, packing up your boat. You throw this into a bag or whatever, another bin that you want to bring with you, and you got it nicely stored. You can do this with dipsy divers, with flashers, with whatever really you want to keep your tackle attached to. So works great, and you can use the remaining parts of your noodle. So that's it for JK Fishing, guys. Thanks for coming. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be posting some more tips on how to make some of these do-it-yourself projects to help organize your fishing equipment and make fishing a lot easier, okay? So take care. Bye.